some bunnies with a Badooka dunk.
Way downtown. Bang! Bang!
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome to A Trial Called Swish. The boys are back. B More and J More back like we never left. So we welcome again. We have our second episode with our sponsors, Southern Edge, the fine spirits. But we'll get more into that later. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got some NBA news. Slim Thug, aka Luka, is on the basketball court for Slovenia. De'Aaron Fox with the massive re-up. We got Joe Mazzulla. They extended him. And we're going to jump into a little preseason football. Even though this is not really a football podcast, we're going to touch on some football also today. And and we may even give you a clear out, so we'll see. But let's kick it off first. Let's start out with some NBA news. I sent you the clip, Luka, all slim. We've probably seen the pictures of him on Men's Health and everything. Looking all like muscular. Well, I wouldn't even say muscular. He just looks smaller.
Like real slim, yeah.
Yeah, he's lost some weight. So, how do you see that impacting his play next season?
I think his play style will still be the same. I think it's incredible that he lost 30 pounds. Honestly, 31, but that's a lot of weight in a matter of 4 months.
Yep.
So I'm excited. I saw the highlights and I was expecting him to move a little faster, but I think probably next season his camp will probably focus on his speed and agility, because now I think that brings him down to 200 pounds. Mm-hmm. So he should be a little bit more mobile. And then I think I would expect his defense to be just a little bit better too, where he's not so much of a liability anymore.
Yeah, I expect to see the improvement in his stamina. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I didn't really expect him to speed up because that's never been he's never played with speed. Now part of it is because he might have been overweight, but even young Luka never played with speed. He was just always, he knew how to get to his spots and get his shot up. So in that Euro basketball game, he looked like Luka. He looked healthy.
Yeah.
He was, he dropped 19 points in 24 minutes. So, and he was going against some NBA. Yeah, he was going against NBA talent. So, this wasn't like Ghana or something that they threw out there. And, he was going to like the Wagner boys who play for Orlando. They were out there. So, yeah, I mean, Slim Luka looked like he might be, that this might be the real deal for him. But how do you think he's going to look when the real season begins?
That's the big question mark. I don't think anything can change. I think if he sticks to his diet, he'll be fine, honestly. And I think he'll get better and his stamina will improve as the season goes on. Because I like the fact that players play in leagues. Well, if you're a EuroLeague player, you're playing in games to get in game shape for the regular season.
Yeah.
I like that that's happening, and I think he'll be fine, honestly. I think if he also stays healthy, because I think last year he had some knee and ankle problems too. So. But that also could be due to weight. That could also be due to him not being as flexible because he was so built and so overweight. Not overweight, but he was just heavier.
Yeah,
I'll say that. But I think now that he's changed up his shape and things like that, he should be fine. Honestly, I want him to be a little faster though. Maybe that's just a wish. I want him to be a little faster because he's too good to be real slow. But pace players are super lethal too.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't let anybody speed him up or slow him down. And I think that's kind of the beauty in his game is he's able to kind of do what he wants to do and nobody can stop it. So if he's able to play his game and also be able to play it longer, granted, the Lakers are still a 6 seed tops, but we're going to see a better brand of Luka basketball, which that's always going to be a good thing. Speaking of good basketball, I want to go to De'Aaron Fox, this extension. 4 years, $229 million. Last season with the Spurs, he averaged 20 and 7. That's a lot of money for De'Aaron Fox. I mean, look, I like De'Aaron Fox, and the salary cap says that he should get this money. Get your money, fam. But that's a brick.
I'm not opposed to anybody getting a bag, man. But De'Aaron Fox, I think if this was 3 years ago, he'd be worth the money because he was with the Kings and he was putting up crazy numbers. He's worth that investment.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't pay him no $220 million for 4 years. I probably would do like a 2-year, and then maybe like 180, maybe 150, 2-year 150.
But I always look at things like this: how many players in the market are better than him?
To answer your question about who's better than De'Aaron Fox. I mean, they're on other franchises, but
Exactly.
I could put Cole Anthony in there too.
Bro, we are not doing this. Cole Anthony is not big. No, listen, look. Cole Anthony.
Jalen Suggs. I don't know, man.
Listen. Cole Anthony in his summer workouts look like he's better than De'Aaron Fox. Cole Anthony during the regular season looks nowhere near De'Aaron Fox.
Stop,
So what I like about this is that I don't know how this team is going to play, because you got Stephon Castle, you have Harper, you have Dylan Harper, and now you have De'Aaron Fox. You're not going to draft somebody that high and be like, you're going to be 6-man. Stephon Castle was just rookie of the year, so you just paid De'Aaron Fox $229 million. So having 3 of them on the court at the same time, I don't like how does that help? That's not going to help you defensively. It's not going to help you rebounding unless you just think that Wemby is going to take care of everything. So I just don't know how that lineup works.
I think it'll work. I mean, if we really look at it, if the Spurs are going to use the Warriors template and use small ball for like majority of the season, then like I think that's what they'll probably do, honestly, because they have they got a lot of talent, and I think the Spurs team can go really far. And I think that, with the fact that like Chris Paul is not on the team anymore, it freed up a whole lot of cap space too. But I think it'll be fine. Like I think they'll be okay. They'll probably be like I said, like a Warriors template or a Kings template, because they had at one point they had like De'Aaron Fox and Keon Ellis, and then they also had Malik Monk on the floor, and then they also had Harrison Barnes on the floor too, and then their big man was Sabonis. So I mean, it might go that route. I mean, it depends, but I think they'll be fine. They'll figure it out. The chemistry is going to be really interesting to see over next year, and they got a new head coach, so they got a lot going against them next year.
So I stand corrected. Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper aren't small; they're 6'6". So with that said,
I thought it was 6'4".
Yeah. So De'Aaron Fox is 6'3", Stephon Castle is 6'6", and Dylan Harper. That's not versatile. I mean, it's honestly it's pretty much Derek White and Jaylen Brown. I mean, when you look at like size wise, like that's what we have, So it's so they're bigger. I still think they're going to need in the West. You're going to need some size, and so Wemby, while big, while long, more like tall man, they're still going to need somebody at that 4. So, but I think what I like about this lineup is that they're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be a league pass must. Like when everybody's healthy, this person is going to be a fun watch.
Oh yeah, I think. Oh my God, Devon Vassell.
Yes, yeah.
He's 6'7", I think, 6'5", because he's also another long player too.
6'5", yep, yeah.
Yeah, so he's also a lucky player too. Yeah.
Oh, so they're just gonna have long arms all over the place. Okay.
Yeah. Basically the Cavs, honestly. Like,
they're just gonna have arms and legs everywhere. All right. So I think we agree the Spurs are gonna be fun to watch. So let's talk about our favorite coach, Joe Mazzulla. So for those who are first timers, Josh and I are both Celtics fans. We have very different opinions on Joe Mazzulla, though. I don't think he's a good coach. Jay Moore seems to think that he's decent. I wouldn't give him that.
I think he's a great coach. Decent is a slap in the face. It's like saying Doc Rivers is a phenomenal coach. That's a slap in the face.
There's not that much distance between those two. I mean, but there's not a lot of distance between those two. They both make terrible adjustments. So, and they both got lucky once to get a championship. So there's not that much space between Doc Rivers and Joe Mazzulla.
Man, now my uncle triggered me on the podcast, man. That's crazy.
I think we're gonna have to, don't jump off that ledge so quick. But so they extended him. What do you think this means for the Celtics right now? They're keeping the stability. They're keeping Joe Mazzulla in.
Yeah.
What impact does this have, or everything is status quo? What do you think?
So I like the fact that the Celtics culture is that they keep coaches for a really long time. Honestly, they're not going through like a constant turnover with coaches and stuff like that. Stability is the main thing, and that's what they represent. And I like that. Mazzulla brings a tough player mentality, and I think once you, from my belief, if you are tough mentally, then you're unstoppable, because then you can get yourself out of a slump and you can still perform at a very high level. And I think that's what Mazzulla is going to do. Now, yes, he does need to make adjustments. I thought last year when Jason Tatum was out and the Celtics beat the Knicks last year and they were playing through Jaylen Brown and Derek White, everybody locked in and things went well and they won. I thought that was a really good sign that better things are to come now that when Jason Tatum returns. I think not even this season. I think they're saying probably next season.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think this year will really, really determine whether he was worth keeping around for another 4 years. I think it is. They're probably going to draft. They're probably going to, sign a free agent to take on that Jason Tatum role or some type of role to where they can lean on Jaylen Brown so much to where he's not being like a pass first forward or something like wing player or whatever the case may be. But I like it. They should keep him on. The next season will be where he might be put on the hot seat or not.
You know what? I completely agree. I think this will be the season that we find out, can he coach? I still feel like we don't know if he can coach. I think the championships. I think the championship season. I still feel that's Ime's ring, but cool. That's
so crazy. Nah, if it's Ime's ring, it's Brad Stevens' ring. Like if we're gonna be
Brad. No, it's not. No, because Brad Stevens couldn't even get them to the finals. Brad Stevens is the perfect rebuilding coach for any team because he was able to get things up, but he could never get them over the hump, and that's where Ime was. That team was going to win because Ime had his fingerprints on it.
All right, so let's think about this, right? When Brad Stevens was the head coach for the Celtics,
yes.
Who did they have to consistently go through every time to get to the finals? Because they were at least one or two rounds before getting to the finals. They had to get through LeBron.
Right.
At the time, LeBron was he was in prime round number 3. No one was beating LeBron.
But here's the thing. If they were getting smashed against the Cavs every season, fine. But they were always competitive. They were always in the game. They were always a few possessions away from turning the tide. And now, listen, you're right. LeBron in some of those series was out of worldly. Not debating at all. But there were certain series where adjustments here, probably maybe a better roster, one additional player here or there, could have made a difference. So I mean, that's a Danny Ainge thing. And at that point. The problem with that Celtics team is that they were ahead of schedule. People got annoyed because they were like, okay, well, when y'all going to win it all? And they're like, we 22-23. What are you talking about? And you're right. They had to go up against LeBron. And then Ime came and Ime's like, look, he was the right voice for them because they were a bunch of goof offs. The Kyrie experiment didn't really work for many reasons, but Ime was that voice. And all Joe Mazzulla did was pretty much, don't mess it up. Like that's easy to do when you have a veteran team. Like if he inherited the Brad Stevens team directly, then maybe. But this was all he had to do was really not do anything stupid, and he didn't. And then when he felt full of himself last year, he said, I'm going to be stupid. And what I am going to do is that I understand my team cannot hit a 3-pointer. So my suggestion is to take more. And they kept missing. So, no, I have no faith in Joe Mazzulla. But to your point, this year will be the year to see if he's a good coach. Because he's not going to have the talent that he's normally used to. And if they can and I will shoot them some bail. If the directive is, hey, there's a strong draft next year, so we don't want to be too good, then okay, fine. But if they're like, hey, we want to be competitive, and we see that over the course of the season, and they're not really tanking it, and they're not looking good, then nah.
Oh man, I think they're gonna be all right. They're probably not gonna go. They'll make the playoffs. I don't think they'll have like a deep run like they did last year. Yeah, like they'll be fine. I think the only thing too is just like Jaylen Brown needs to put on his "I'm number one option" pants on and still take over. Like we can blame the coach as much as we want, right? Like at the end of the day, the players have to perform and they have to respond as necessary. Because at some point, like we got to stop blaming the coaches for the players' lack of play. Because the players, it's not the coach's fault that the players are trash.
True.
So
you're right.
As I was saying before, if we're gonna say, oh, it's Ime's ring, then it's really Brad Stevens' ring. But Brad Stevens also, I think if he didn't have to go through LeBron, he also would have had a ring already prior to Ime taking over. But stop it. If he didn't have to go through LeBron, he would have had a ring. But at the same time, that was the year of the Warriors because the Warriors on a tear for the back-to-back.
Right.
They probably would have had a chance.
I don't think those teams would be in those Warriors teams. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, because KD was on the Warriors that year too. So, but my point is like,
Steph might end up with one more ring. I mean,
true.
That's
you didn't have to have that conversation of like,
that's
LeBron or
that's the more likely story because that chase down block doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very ironic. I mean, very iconic. But my thing is like, I think we have to stop now. We officially have to stop the conversation of like, oh, these kids are young, like these players are young, they can't. Absolutely. That officially has to be done now because the Thunder did it. Like they're not even drinking age. So,
but nobody did it until they did it. Again, who are they going to get that's better than him, and not only better than him, who fits that team the way it's constructed? For them.
It's not many players out there for sure. There's not many coaches out there for sure. Like I don't think even like Mike Budenholzer, I don't think he could even do anything like that. Like with that team, like you have to have a strong mentality to, especially in Boston, man. He can't be soft over there. It's weird. Like that's a big battle you got to deal with over there. It's crazy.
So right. So all right. So Jonathan Kuminga. Contract talks. So the Warriors have offered him $45 million over 2 years. And they have a team option in year 2. So he becomes a restricted free agent again in the second year. He wants 3 years, $82 million, but Golden State is like, nah. So we have Phoenix and Sacramento. They've offered sign and trade packages. It's rumored Phoenix even offered a $90 million package, but Golden State is not. They're not. They don't want it. So it's possible that he may have to sign like a qualifying offer, which is like $8 million for the year, and then be an unrestricted free agent going into 2026. Yo, what is the problem with the Warriors? Like, make a decision. Like, I don't understand what's happening with this.
Look, man. If I'm the Warriors, I'm doing this, right? Because at this point, I understand where Jonathan Kuminga is, though, right? Like, he's not feeling value. Like, he hasn't felt value probably over the past 2-3 years, maybe. I think at the point, because it's really Steve Kerr, because it's really like, I need something in my contract to say, like, I'm going to get a certain amount of minutes in the regular season and postseason because the Warriors are going to make the playoffs. Like, I need some minutes because y'all been playing on my face for the past few years. If that's not in the contract, then I understand where Kuminga's coming from of like, bro, y'all can really take this and shove it, honestly. But if I'm the Warriors, bro, I'm like, hey, man, take it or leave it. And at this point, I'm about to leave it because what other team is going to take him, honestly, outside of Phoenix? And you said the Kings?
Yeah.
Like, he's not. Like who are the King? Who do the Kings have that the Warriors want anyway? Or
Well,
Suns?
that part. I just don't. The Warriors don't seem to want him, but the Warriors want like a big package for him. No team's going to offer you a huge package if they already know you don't want this player. Like, that's not how things work. Like, we know you don't like him. We want to help you take him off your hands. But you want to
Yeah.
act like, oh, we don't really want to get rid of him. No, dude, y'all do want to get rid of him. Listen, the Warriors are mad. Honestly, I feel the Warriors are mad because those last two games against Houston, and in the next round, Jonathan Kuminga played well, and they're like, "Oh, damn! Now we might have to pay him," because they were hoping that they could kind of keep his value low. But man, this upsets me because I don't understand the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like him. Other teams want him.
Mm-hmm.
Make a deal. But Golden State isn't even, from the rumors, Golden State isn't even listening to offers now. They're like, no, we're good. We don't want to hear any other offers on him.
Yeah.
So sign him. Give him what he wants. Be done with it.
But I think the thing is like Jonathan Kuminga, I wouldn't pay 3 years, $80 million for him, though. Like I'd probably pay probably within that 50-60 range, honestly.
Yeah.
I think where they put him at right now, I think that's a fair value just on the 3 years. Because he hasn't done anything really. Like he helped them win in the regular season, but like he hasn't really done anything to be worth $80 million. And for him and for his role and his position, honestly, too, because he's a 3 and a 4, there's not much value there right now. Like I can't really be like, oh, he's definitely worth 80 plus. I think if his contract extension was like around when they beat the Celtics in the finals where he did flourish,
yeah,
and it was him and Wiggs, then I'd be like, oh, for sure, let's talk. But now I'm like, bro, you haven't done anything in the past 2 years. You drop the ball, you forget how to play ball every time we put you on the floor. You can't shoot. What are you doing?
And I think part of the issue is he can't prove himself. He doesn't play. You can't play a player for 20 games and then like, okay, we're gonna ride you in the bench for like another 5 games and then I've never understood his place in the rotation because I feel like sometimes I've watched him play and he gets a lot of minutes and other times he doesn't. So I lay this squarely at the feet of Steve Kerr. And this mess could have probably been avoided if Kerr would just be like, okay, and just be public about it. I mean, not necessarily public to us, but public to the front office. Like, look, he's not my guy. I need you to find me my guy. And his guy seems to be an Andrew Wiggins type player. Yeah. And Kuminga doesn't quite fit that mold. You would think when you look at how he's built and everything that he would be an Andrew Wiggins type player, but he's not. So that's who Kerr wants, and Kuminga's not that. And he just need to kind of figure this out.
I think Kuminga also has to come to a point too. Like if he's expecting a bigger role in the Warriors roster, it's not gonna happen because you got Draymond, you got Steph, you got Jimmy Butler over there now, and now you have Quentin Post as well. Also, he's still a young player, but he's embracing his role of like they probably just need me out there to shoot and get some points and get some boards, and that's pretty much all they need me to do.
Right.
And like I think Jonathan Kuminga is looking to be a superstar just on the wrong team.
I agree. So with that said, we're going to move into some NBA stuff. I mean, some NFL stuff. So again, no one's said at the top of the show, we don't normally talk football, but we're going to talk some football today because this is football and a little bit of culture also. Shedeur Sanders, preseason debut. 14-23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now that's the good news. The bad news is that his average time to throw 3.5 seconds, which is slower than the average release. So that's saying that in the regular season that he could be getting sacked a lot. But so a mixed bag for that debut. What did you see when you saw Shedeur take the field on Friday night?
I was proud, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think he did a really good job. He was composed. He made really good plays. I think he made good reads, maybe a couple bad passes here and there. But I mean, he's a rookie. Shoot, man, he'd be either number 2 or number 1 on my depth chart. And I say number 2 because Joe Flacco and what he did last year. Like he's the clear. Joe Flacco was a clear starter because he has the experience and he did well for the team last year. But I could see him getting injured and Shedeur stepping up and taking over for the team. I don't think Shedeur is ready to start yet, and I think that's also purely from a protecting the career decision too, because JJ McCarthy on the Vikings, they were looking to get him starting the second he got there, and then he got injured. I think these teams need to start developing these young players a little bit, another year or two, and then have them start. But I was happy with what I saw. I think the biggest thing that Shedeur needs right now is produce even more for the rest of the preseason. Definitely. Because he's got a game, but the whole league and the rest of the coaches need to see like, okay, we made a mistake, or all right. He's got a game. So that's how I feel about Shedeur, man. Yeah, I can't say too much.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did what at least what I expected him to do, right? So I feel like Shedeur, it has always been in college an accurate passer, right? He's always been able to take the unders. He's always been able to hit the outs. That's always been his thing. The drawback has always been is that he doesn't fit the mold of like your typical black athletic quarterback. He doesn't really scramble. He's not overly fast, but he's got good feet like a Brady. So he knows how to move around the pocket. The problem is he's never been behind a decent offensive line. Colorado's offensive line got him beat up. Now, people say that he took too long to throw, but no, I watched those games, and I mean,
so running for his life.
Yeah, so I blame partly the offensive coordinator and that offensive line, because look, you can't throw 20-yard outs when you don't have an offensive line. He's going to get beat up. He should have been throwing slants, in route, drags, screens. That should have been where he lived. But they're like, hey, we got Travis Hunter. Let's do a seam and
long routes. Yeah.
No, you can't do that. But I think with this, he's going to have to get a quicker release. The NFL is so much faster. He's going to have to get the ball out of there. And it's up to his coordinators to be like, okay, look, quick plays, quick passes, 1, 2, 3, boom, get the ball out. 1, 2, 3, get the ball out. And once he's able to do that, I think his ceiling is really high. It's going to be really high. But Joe Flacco being a starter, I understand why you're saying that, but Joe Flacco was 100 years old. And he looks it. So this isn't a LeBron situation where, he doesn't look 100. Joe Flacco looks like someone's granddaddy out there wanting to play football.
This is what I think is going to happen. If I'm a smart coach, okay, which I am.
Right? The Browns have never had smart coaches, but go on.
That's what I'm saying. Right. If I'm a smart coach, right, I'm a smart coach. I've coached football. I know what I talk about. I played football. All right. If I'm a smart coach, I'm not Kevin Stefanski. I'm any other coach in the league right now. I'm starting Joe Flacco so he can teach Shedeur about timing and the ropes. Okay. It's not lost on me because I want Shedeur to be the face of the franchise. Mind you, I'm a smart coach. Okay. I'm the smart coach. Shedeur is my future. Okay. I'm pretty much going to bank my career on him. I just need Joe Flacco to work out the rest of his contract, to just go ahead and teach Shedeur, take him under his wing. Maybe by game 4 or game 3, I'm telling Joe Flacco, take a dive. Okay. Go ahead, slide, go out the pocket, slide, lay on the ground a little bit longer, slide Shedeur right in there. Pretend to be hurt. We'll tell the reporters you got a little high ankle sprain. Get you taped up. We'll put you in like maybe 3rd, 4th quarter, depending on how Shedeur plays. Because I want the league to show the league, Shedeur is a guy. He's doing great. if there's some, there's going to be some kinks there, but Joe Flacco's going to work with them to get it out. Now, Joe Flacco's going to finish out the rest of the year. Next year, I'm starting Shedeur. Joe Flacco retires. That's how that's going to go. Because it's a long season. It's 18 games in the season. So in 18 games, that's a whole year worth of experience. Year 2, he already moves like he's a vet, right? Because his dad is who? Shedeur Sanders. Prime time, right? I don't need him to start this year. I need him to start next year.
So now a word from our sponsor, Southern Edge Fine Spirits.
It's just a public service announcement.
My people, it's your boy Chub Rock. And yes, you know me for Treat 'em Right. Just the two of us, Chubster. Yes. But now, on the entrepreneurial train, we're talking liquor now. My own liquor brand, Southern Edge Spirits. Telling you, go to your local store and ask for it. That sweet caramel whiskey. That sweet tea vodka. And, of course, that passionberry tequila. Mix it with your favorite fruit juices. Make that boots on the ground with some green Hawaiian punch. That's right, Southern Edge Spirits. Black owned, black endorsed. It is us. I call it the FIBU. For everyone, by us. Your boy Chub Rock, baby. All right, Southern Edge Spirits. That salted caramel whiskey, sweet tea vodka, and of course that passionberry tequila. All brought to you by my Southern Edge family. You're going to see a lot of tastings coming up. You're going to see us endorsing a lot of parties. Southern Edge Spirits. Put it on your shopping list this summer because we here, baby. We outside.
When we look at a player who obviously like Shedeur, who can play quarterback,
Yeah.
you have to look at Anthony Richardson, who can't. I don't understand this. So I'm of two minds, right? You get what you pay for. You knew this man didn't start playing quarterback until his senior year in high school. And he only played really like one full season at Florida. And then you got him in two full seasons at Florida. And then so he's got 3 years. 3 years of quarterback play. Like live quarterback. I mean, listen, you look at how he's built, you look at what he can do. Yes, absolutely. You give this man the keys to the franchise. But you look under the hood of that car and you're like, oh, this Ferrari's got a Ford Echo engine. Oh, yo, we can't buy this. This man in his career, he's at 50% completion rate. 50%. Yo, this man in 2 seasons has passed for a total of 2,391 yards. Yo, you got people passing for that in 4 games. What are we doing here? Like, what? This man can't play quarterback, and he keeps getting hurt. Like, bro, pick a struggle. You either can't play quarterback or stay healthy.
Hey, man. He dislocated his pinky, I think it was.
Yes.
And they ruled him out for the game. Dude, if I'm the coach, I'd be so pissed. I'm throwing everything. You seen the oh my God, what's that Adam Sandler movie where he's in jail and playing football?
Oh, The Longest Yard.
Yes, dude. I'm crashing out like the white security guard on national TV. Bro, I'm throwing the water table. I'm throwing a Gatorade. Bro, I'm doing everything. Anthony Richardson, I had a lot of hopes for him. I think the Colts looked at him as their next Andrew Luck. Honestly, I think they looked at him as like, oh, this is our next Andrew Luck. And I think they looked at him as another Lamar Jackson because one, he had good confidence, and Florida, like, the Florida League, when you're playing for Florida, you're legit. You're thinking Tim Tebow, you got Cam Newton, who was there for like a little stint or whatever, but he played great. But,
Bro,
hey, man.
I'm a Colts fan, and I'm about to turn in my fan card. Look, man, this is the same team that they started pissing me off that draft when they had a chance to take T. Higgins, and they took Michael Pittman Jr. Look at their careers. It was obvious T. Higgins was the better player. It was obvious. Yeah. And they're like, nah. Michael Pittman. This is the same franchise that had Andrew Luck. And instead of getting a better offensive line, these fools let this man, a probable Hall of Famer, get beat up week in, week out to this man say, you know what? I don't need this shit. he one day he woke up and realized that he was rich. He didn't need this. He's got a Stanford education. He's going to be an architect. Do you know how beat up you got to be as a football player to wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm going to be an architect? Bro, like that doesn't even make sense. He woke up one day and said, I am not playing football. I am going to design buildings for a living.
And he's the GM for Stanford now.
And then look, they're Jonathan Taylor, the only skilled player they had worth anything. They're like, we're not going to pay you. I'm like, who else do you have? So you have this man hold out for like 3 games. Like, Brian,
Oh man,
he just continues to make these bad decisions. But rest in peace to Irsay. But we don't know what his kids are going to do, and normally the kids are never as good as the father. But
hey, so I have an opinion on that though.
Okay,
I love it. The thing is, what we looking at. So people say it's nepotism, but like they've been doing that for generations, though, right?
Yeah.
So I like it. I feel like his kids, because they're all three of his daughters. Yeah. So all 3 of his daughters, I think they're gonna do fine. I think if they, like, their dad taught them everything and what it is. I think if he didn't have enough faith in his children to take over, then he would have picked somebody else in his will to take over for the team. I think they'll be fine. I think we might be honestly underestimating them. I'm thinking, when I think of those 3 girls, I think of the show Running Point on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
The brother had to go to rehab and the sister's taking over. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think they're going to be. So the Colts have been a well-run franchise for decades. So I don't think there's going to be a fall off there. I think they need to get a new GM. I think that's really that the Colts, this franchise has lost their way. That there is no one on this Colts team that anyone fears. You don't fear Jonathan Taylor because you know your quarterbacks can't pass. So I think Josh Downs is a good receiver. I think Michael Pittman is good. Michael Pittman is not a number 1. He would be a great number 2 or maybe even someone in the slot. But this team This team has so many holes, and the fact that we blew a top pick on Anthony Richardson is just going to set this franchise back, because we have never been a franchise that's going to be like, you know what, we're going to rest our laurels on defense and the offense will come around. It's always been the opposite. We will figure defense out and we're going to score points. And now we have neither. Our defense is bad. Our offense is bad. And it's just, so I have no hope for this football season at all.
They can always force Kirk Cousins to unretire and, come back.
I mean, look, Kirk Cousins on one leg is better than Anthony Richardson. So
dude, seriously, yeah.
I'm just saying.
I don't disagree with you.
And that says a lot. So, all right. So we've had some fun with the NFL, talked about some NBA. All right. With that said, man, we got another episode in the can. This is B Moore. That's J Moore. A Tribe Called Switch. Sign it out.